It's easy to say that you've hit rock bottom now, but in reality, these things do happen gradually. And for me, probably took about 2 to 3 years, where eventually I lost my money, my assets, my property, uh, car, even had a boat at one point, relationship, and a loved one who passed away that was very dear to me. Now, I'm happy through my journey to go into more detail of things as stories unfold and share some of my life lessons and life stories and wild journeys. I've had more than enough life adventures and some near-death experiences because I've been an adamant risk taker actually almost all my life since I was a young pup. So I've had about three different careers in my life from working in advertising and marketing to being a digital nomad for 3 to 4 years and sort of traveling around the world working on blockchain to even working in remote Aboriginal communities in no man's land, flying in charter planes and driving big old 4x4s to get to communities and, incarceration, child care services, homelessness, alcohol and drug abuse. These are just a handful of programs that I tendered for, managed, and operated at Indigenous corporations. So I did have to move back in with my folks. I pretty much could not survive financially anymore, or I was really on my tail end and had to put the brakes on due to a series of unfortunate events. So I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Eddie Bokma, and I can't say thank you enough for coming across my channel and watching this video if you've made it that far. And I hope you join me on a journey to recovery, especially if you're in that situation. So we're going to go through some of these things that I've learned along the way. Um, and what I'm doing and some tips and tricks that I found very useful, particularly now when it counts the most. And while you're going through this journey, do not be plagued by other people's opinions. This is crucial. It's so easy to think that you're a loser, you're the lowest denominator on the totem pole or what have you. It's very easy to think this way about yourself, but none of that matters. It's easy to get caught up with the news or the worldly events and feeling like all this pressure and crisis is just upon you. You need to just get to a comfortable space where you don't have those things serve your brain because they're irrelevant. What you need to focus on is your obligations, your health, and getting yourself back on track, right? I mean, there's a variety of things. I'll go into more details with some other videos, but I just wanted to go through just some quick, easy steps to get your situation and get yourself a little bit under control. First step that you need to do, you need to accept it. It's as simple as that. It sounds really simple, but cognitively or mentally, the that is a little bit more harder than easier said than done. Now, I can say probably in the last couple of weeks while I was trying to put this video together, I really now, only now, feel as if I've accepted, I've acknowledged the situation that I'm in. So I really think you should take the time to think about that, to put yourself in a little bit of slow motion and find the peace and the courage to acknowledge exactly where you are. You don't even need to think about how you got there, whose fault, what you regret. All of that stuff is irrelevant. It does not matter. Only what matters is right here, right now, accept the reality. Now, once you've done that, I almost guarantee that it is a weight off your shoulder. It is a huge burden that you've lifted. I guarantee you, once you come to that actualization, that is exactly what's going to happen. You're going to feel a lot lighter. You're going to feel a lot lighter, and you're going to be putting yourself back in a frame where maybe you can even laugh at yourself. Like you can laugh about like, how the hell did I get here? I am now getting to a point where I like kind of look at myself and laugh a little bit like, what did you do? You know, like, what did you do, you idiot? And that's okay. To get to that point, it's very important. So I highly recommend that you take those kinds of steps. The next thing that I really recommend you to do is to take stock. Take stock of where you are, what you have, and what you don't have. Because even if you don't have much, you still have something. I mean, it could be your loved ones. I mean, I've as I believe I mentioned, I'm living back at my parents' place. I'm living back at my mom's and my stepdad's place, and that's what I have. That's what I have, and I'm blessed to have that. Like, they are amazing human beings. I know everybody's situation is different. You might not have that, but for me, that's what I have, right? So take stock of what you have, your networks, family members, and really key people, friends, right? Start shuffling them around to what are the things that you can use to your disposal to help you out, and what are the obligations. Obviously, you have financial obligations, you have your bills, your utility bills, and things like that. So you need to take stocks of all this stuff, and you really need to make sure you're utilizing your time accordingly, you're utilizing your finances accordingly, which means in this process you need to cut the fat off. You need to shave off the things that are not serving you. And a big and easy one to do is cut social media out. Just get rid of it. I myself was one of the first things I did. I got rid of Facebook. Now, I got rid of it. I didn't delete it entirely. I still have it, but I don't have it on my mobile device, which you just commonly use, right? I have it for the app because I still communicate with people. I have it for the marketplace so I can sell things and buy things cheap, secondhand on there. So just think about that. That's why I made a strategic decision around that. But all the other social stuff, I'm like hardly to non-existent involved on that because it's time consuming, and right now you need to really start owning your time. So prioritizing accordingly. Now, I did forget subscriptions. Subscriptions. Get rid of as many subscriptions as possible, if not all of them, unless they're for business needs and etc., like tools that you might use. Because when you get into these situations, your body goes under a lot of stress. Like, it produces an excess of cortisol, and stress receptors just start going haywire. Your diet, things are in more of a situation for you in these heightened states of problems, right, in your life, where it almost becomes natural for your body to just deteriorate. Okay. So while you're tackling these habits, you're improving your health and improving your health at the same time. So I highly recommend that you, and this might sound very cliche, you get a gym membership. If you have not ever gone to the gym, I advise you to get a gym membership and start going and start slow to the point where you aspire to go to the gym almost daily, like it's brushing your teeth. That doesn't mean you have to do all these crazy weights. It doesn't mean you have to do all these crazy exercises, but even just getting on a treadmill or doing a light exercise or stretching, just make it a habit to go more or less daily, right? To combat the stress in your life and all the harm that it's doing internally to you, and you will find more clarity. You'll find more clarity in your cognitive abilities, and your body's just going to feel more equipped to achieve more, especially later down the line when you are in a position to pick up more on your plate and do things that you want to do and dream further, right? It's important that you manage your diet better, right? So get rid of the takeaway foods, processed food. Try to cut out as much carbohydrates and cut out as much sugar so you don't get these like glucose spikes, right? You're keeping your body in a nice consumption, moderate level of health, and you mix up your plate so it's got all the colors on the rainbow on there, grains, um, fats, oils, fish. Just get a better healthy diet. It's really not that hard to know when you're not eating right, and your body's going to thank you for it. Like, those are the two main things that you can do to start putting this foundation back into place. Now, one of the last things that I really want you to focus on, and this is what I'm focusing on, like, all the stuff that I'm telling you are the things that I've been doing. Now, you'll fail along the way of trying to achieve these things, no doubt about it, but make sure you claw yourself back to the starting point of that successful journey of normalizing your life, right? That's very important. So don't be fearful of making mistakes along the way or not getting things right. Don't be hard on yourself. It's very important. But now is a really good time when you have a moment and you are more or less alone, because you've lost all these things, and that means friendship's going to come along the way. I can tell you that, and you might need to cut some of those friends out as well while you prioritize the things that you need to do in your life. What you can do though is look inside yourself, and you will see very clearly, more than ever in this situation, all your major flaws, all your addictions, all your time wasting efforts, um, bad habits, whether it's diet or even your mobile phone and social media. Like, you'll be able to pinpoint to a T all the bad things about you. And believe me, there's plenty. Everybody's got bad habits. Me, myself, one of them, I was an adamant green smoker. Started very early teenage years, and it was pretty much a habit that went since then, over 20 years now. And I pretty much just went cold turkey. So that was like cut out. I also had a bad drinking habit. And when I say bad drinking, I mean for me, in terms of just drinking, half a six pack to a six pack almost every night for a very long time, off and on, but fairly consistently. It was a bad enough habit of consumption that just didn't belong there anymore. What I'm trying to get at is you need to use this to really be honest with yourself about the bad habits that you've produced to date, and start to combat them. And as you do, you will come to the realization that your body, right, and your mind are really the only two assets. Like, I lost so many things, and to be quite frankly honest with you, the materialistic stuff didn't really impact me as much as I thought it would. It was things like losing a loved one that just hit home way too hard. The real loss, right? The real loss when there's just no more opportunity beyond that door. Another thing, while you're taking all those steps, don't forget to go out into nature. That saying, touch grass, like, it's true. It doesn't mean you need to go out there and put your hand on some grass, but go out and get some sun on you, get some of that vitamin D. Go for a walk your dog, or go for a bike ride. But I think it's really important for you to just get out of the house and get some quality air if possible. I mean, if you're in a congested area, go somewhere else if you can, like outside the city, and get fresher air in the woods or in a forest, or by the beach. Me personally, I like to go to the beach or go to a park and actually take my shoes off and walk on Mother Earth. So I'm grounded to her, and it just makes me feel better. I naturally feel better. And if the weather's nice, I will dip into the salty ocean to just let it soak up into my body. And it feels 10 times better after that, especially if I'm having a bad day or I'm just not mentally clear-minded that day. So it's really important to do that stuff. Do build a healthy routine around your health. It's really important that you do that. So just as a quick recap, make sure you acknowledge what's happened, you accept it, and you truly accept it, because then you'll find peace. Like, that's essentially what it is, and you will stop shying away from the world and feeling guilty, or regret, and not scared of people, because you're like, yep, That happened. I mean, you don't need to tell them, but accept it. Accept it in your heart, accept it in your mind, and accept it in your soul. That's the first thing you really need to do. Take stock. So make assess what you have around you, what you can use to your disposal, what you can use to your advantage, and count your blessings along the way, and make sure you retain and fulfill your obligations. And then your body and your health. You need to just take the opportunity to really get on top of that. And that will serve you for the rest of your life. If you master that, it will serve anything and everything you do. And just count your blessings. Just start being kind to yourself and not so harsh. And to the people around you. I know myself that I've been a pain in the backside towards some key family members. Don't do that. Try to learn to just be grateful and thankful, because there's plenty to be grateful and thankful about. I mean, this is just a period. This is just a period in your life. It sucks. It's not easy. I mean, it sucks and it's not easy for me. So let's take this and let's make something better from it. I really wanted to thank you if you've watched my whole video. It's the first one, as I think I said, and I really, really appreciate you taking the time to come here. And I very much look forward to sharing more of my story, more of my journey, and maybe some entertainment and some life lessons along the way. So, thank you for watching. I'm Eddie Bokma, and just be kind to yourself in these in your darkest hours, and you'll be okay. Thank you.